So this is part two of our discussion on the introduction of value engineering. So we stop at this framework of value, which is value is equal to the function over cost. In other words, value is directly proportional to function. So the higher the function, the greater the value, and it is and value also here is inversely proportional to cost, meaning the lesser the cost, the higher the value. Okay. Now let's define what is value and function and cost. Let's start with the term function. So function is a characteristic, it's a characteristic activity or action for which a thing is specifically fitted, used, or which something exists. So this is the activity or action for which a thing is specifically fitted. Okay, so function. Let's say a hammer. Hammer is ang function ng hammer is pangpukpok, 'di ba? So that's the function of hammer. Let's say yung um lagari. Okay, let's say lagari. So, yan. So, yung function niya is pang saw or pang cut. Okay, so that's the term function. So it is used or for which something exists. Okay, so it exists for that function, right? So fork, let's say, I mean fork and spoon. So they are they are for that spoon yung pang ano sa kain, yung fork is yung um pangtuhog. Okay? So that's the function of it. Okay, I'm sorry with the mali yung pagka-pronounce. All right. So functional, we say that a thing is functional. It is when it is designed primarily in accordance with the requirements of use, okay, according to the requirements of use, rather than primarily in accordance with fashion, taste, or even rules of regulation. So let's say car, when I say car, it is functional. Di ba ang car is ang purpose ng car is, you know, to navigate you or to help you to move from one point A to point B, something like that. So it is functional if it moves you, it transports you from point A to point B. Now, regardless of anong klaseng car, the color, the fashion, regardless, added value na lang yun. But um, the main function of car is to transport you, right? So, kung ang car, gaano kaganda ng car, ang sasakyan, gaano man kaganda ng sasakyan, if it's not moving you from point A to point B, it loses. We can say that it isn't functional at all, right? So that's the term functional. When you say a thing is functional, kung nasiserve niya yung purpose niya in accordance so its primary requirements. Okay? So a basic function is defined as the performance characteristics from which must be attained by the technical solution chosen. So yung basic performance, yung na-example natin, yung sasakyan, ang basic performance niya dapat is matransport yung tao or freights uh, from one point to another point. Okay, we say that's the basic function. Basic function ng lagari is to cut, di ba? Basic function ng wrench, yung pang ano ng um, this, yung pang higpit, yung wrench. Okay? So, pero minsan sa Pinoy, gina-use ng hammer yung wrench, which is not, right? That's not the basic function of wrench. It's used for tightening, right? Or bolts, tightening of bolts. So that is what we say, what we call the basic function. The secondary functions, those are the performance characteristic of the technical solution chosen other than the required basic function. Okay? For example, um, the basic function ng spoon is, to yung pang ano ng sa mouth, yung pagkuha ng pagkain, then iyan na sa mouth. Okay? Aside from the normal na hindi kinakamay lang, we have the spoon. Ang basic function niya is para, substitute sa hands. Of course, we still use hands to hold the spoon, but yun yung talaga yung function niya. Ang secondary function niya in Filipino, ng mga Filipinos, ang spoon magiging knife na rin. Right? Ginagamit na rin panghiwa yung spoon. So, in Western countries, they normally use knife to cut food. Pero sa Philippines, wala nang ano. So, even yung mga luto natin, normally mga chunks or cubes na, kasi nagluto tayo ng adobong manok, so naka-cut na. So, sa kanila kasi yung mga malalaki pa yung mga food, normal food nila, malalaki yung serving. So, hindi naka-chunks. So, they use knife for that one. But for us, as much as possible, we just use our spoon. So, in cutting food, um, that's the secondary function of a spoon, right? So, for example, basic function ng window. Ang basic function ng window sa bahay natin is to transmit light, right? So that's the technical solution to a function. Could be pwedeng gumamit tayo ng glass, right? So kasi yan yung function natin, magdaanan ng light. So kung nag-window ka pa tapos opaque yung yung material na gamitin mo, it's not functional. So it doesn't serve its purpose. So we need to use glass so that maka-pass through lang ang lights, right? And the secondary function is pwede nating lagyan ng secondary function ang ang window. Pwede yung may mga tinted, gano'n, para hindi masyadong mainit yung ultraviolet, ano ba yan? Ultraviolet rays, gano'n na mga aspect ba. So, in Japan, I was in Hokkaido, so yung yung window most of the time, kasi inside the house we use heater. Okay? So, normally sa mga window lumalabas. So, inefficient yung heating system ng bahay kung lumalabas naman yung heat. Right? So, normally sa mga doors, sa mga windows. So, kaya even yung windows nila is nakadoble. Double siya. So, hindi directly in contact sa air sa labas para hindi mag-ano yung heat. Anong tawag ba dyan? Parang conduction ba yan? So, hindi ang emit ng heat doon sa labas directly. So, that one is just the secondary function ng window. But basically, ang first function ng window or the primary function of window is for lighting. And the other things are just secondary function. Okay, that's what we term secondary function. Then let's move to value. So value is measure expressed in currency. Okay? So maraming value ang maraming paraan na may express ang value. Of course, not all can be expressed in currency, but basically in economy or in engineering, we we express most of the times in terms of currency and even effort, exchange, or on a comparative scale. So, which reflects the desire to obtain or retain an item, service, or ideal. Okay? So, ito, may currency, may effort. So, we say that a thing is valuable um, because of the effort you gave in it, to create such thing. Yung effort mo, so pinapabayaran mo we say that's valuable kasi yung effort na ginawa ko dyan. Even yung i-compare mo sa iba at makagawa ng thing or object is hindi basta-basta compare sa normally na paggawa ng iba. So, yun. We say that is a measure. Ang value that is a measure um, of currency, effort, or anything. So, okay, which reflects the desire to obtain. Okay, you have the desire to take it kasi there's value in it, right? Just like um, why do we buy commodities, right? Bakit bumili tayo ng bigas? Let's say bigas. Okay, because we need that. So there's value in it. Bakit natin bibilihin ah, kung wala namang value yun para sa atin? Okay? So although we exchange it with money, we can say that that is the value, the amount of money that we uh, that we give in exchange for that rice, right? Kasi may value siya. So that is the term value. Exchange value, this is the amount for which an item may be sold. So we convert that um, to money. Okay. Actually, there's more beyond money, the value, but we just put some monetary value to it. Okay, so that is exchange value. So this is the amount for which an item may be sold. Okay, if it can be sold, then this is the amount that you have to pay. So kung ano yung amount ng money that is, we can say somehow na that's the value of that thing. Okay. So esteem value, this is the amount an owner or user is prepared to pay for prestige or appearance. So maybe we can have the s- the thing or an equipment or apparatus na medyo simple siya. Pero the owner esteemed it very highly, 'di ba? For example, ochre, yung mga ochre na mga vase, gano'n. Pag sa tingnan natin, oh, simple naman yan kasi ano siya, kasi kahoy lang yan siya, gano'n. So, but there is let's say, example yung cultural value niya and esteem value na ito galing pa ito sa mga ninuno namin, gano'n. So, when you buy that, um, let's say, ochre, you just do not buy it because of the value of the wood that was being used. So you also consider the esteem value, other uh, values like the prestige, the history, the appearance, ganon. Okay? Kaya sinasabi ko from my students na sa mga building design, sabi ko, gaano man yan katibay ng building mo, minsan hindi yan na-appreciate ng owner. Okay? So, na-appreciate yan sa presentation. Okay? So, whenever you present to the owner, give a first impression for them na, maganda yung project. Okay? Kasi yun yung unang titingnan ng owner. Magtingin ka ng mga bahay, ang una makita mo yung mga aesthetics, yung functions niya, ganun. So, bihira lang magdiretso tanong na yung owner na anong magnitude na earthquake na kaya nito, ganun. Okay? So, give an esteem value. And also when you price yourself, let's say as a professional, kung may magpa-design sa inyo, you know, sabi nila, architecture, drawing lang naman yan. Engineering, calculate lang naman yan. Tapos, mga sketches, ganun. So, give an esteem value on your profession. So, wag ka nang magsingil ng, ah, lalo na, libre. Wag kang magpalibre ng, kasi nga, mayroong esteem value yung profession natin, yung ability and yung skills natin. Okay? But anyway, that's what I mean with the term esteem value. So use value, for example, um, is a measure of the function of item. So for example, a chisel, yung chisel, ano ba yun anyway, chisel, you just search it. Parang sa Bisaya yan sa amin, tigib. Yung pang ng ukir nga, yung pang, so a chisel has high value as a tool for cutting wood, okay? But low value as a screwdriver. So although it could be used for both tasks. So pwede siyang, let's say yung kutsara, okay? Ang high value niya doon sa pagkuha ng food papunta sa mouth natin. And low value siya kung gamitin natin siya na pang-cut ng 'di ba? So, example again, yung wrench, sinabi ko yung wrench, pwede siya pang-tighten ng bolts. And it has value when you use it as a tightener. Pero it has a low value when you use it as a hammer. Okay? So, minsan kasi in Filipino culture, kung ano yung nahawakan, yun na yung pukpok, 'di ba? So, ginahammer na. Kahit wrench lang yun, ginahammer pa talaga yung wrench. Okay? So, merong high value ang every equipments or things. And then, meron din siyang mga pwedeng gamitan but low value na yung sa kanya. Okay? So, for example, if you are the engineer or the architect, you have a high value as a professional, high valued professional. Pero of course, marunong naman tayo magpala ng simento, di ba? Gawa ng kanal dyan, ng mga rebars, mag-assemble, marunong tayo. Pero pag ilagay ka dyan, nawala na yung value ng pagka-engineer mo at saka pagka-architect, right? So, low value na siya. So parang inappropriate na siya. That's too much overkill na for doing that one. Okay? So sayang yung pagka engineer mo. Ah, Okay? Anyway, that's just hypothetical example. All right. So let's move to cost and worth. So meron tayong function, value, and cost and worth. So ang cost is the price paid or to be paid. So, parang amount pa rin siya. Okay? So it is often said that one man's price is another man's cost. So kaya kung bumili tayo, merong price, merong cost rin. Okay? So cost can be divided and distributed along elements and to some extent function. So worth, when you say worth is defined by North American value engineers as the least cost. Ano yung worth niya? That is the least cost to perform the required function or the cost of the least cost functional equivalent. So kumbaga, um, yung let's say, yung professional fee mo, say 5,000 per day, so yun yung worth mo. Okay? So the least cost na pwedeng i-bayad. That's what we say, the worth. Yung yung object, ano yung worth niya, yung pinaka least cost. Okay? So that's cost and uh worth. Okay? So ito yung potential ng value engineering. So if you see here in the illustration, meron tayong y-axis dito which is the cost, and then meron tayong x-axis yung time. So time versus cost. And these are the phases of construction. Diba? Ito naman normally yung phases of construction. We have the conceptual, yung mga sketches muna, yung mga ideals, yung mga functions ng building, ganun, mga sketches muna. So, conceptual period pa yan siya. And then, once okay na yung concept, then we move to detailed designing. So, yun na yung mag-analysis na tayo, mga numerical analysis na, yun na siya. And then, pagkatapos ng numerical analysis, then construction drawing, prepare the construction drawing. So, iba yung analysis na, iba rin yung construction drawing. Minsan yan yung hindi maintindihan ng ibang owner. Akala nila gumawa ka na ng building permit na na design. Akala nila yun na yun. So, normally, yeah, yung building permit, pang building permit lang yun. So, for construction, the engineers and architects must release separate drawing, a new drawing for, yun, mas detailed na siya for construction na siya na mga drawing. Okay, then after that, makompleto yun, then we can now proceed to construction. Okay, so you can see the graph here, itong color green. So, color green, yung total cost of implementation. So, of course, di ba, sa implementation, sa conceptual pa lang, mababa pa. Hanggang sa darating rin sa construction, mag-increase na siya, right? Yung cost ng project natin. Ang savings, itong blue, so yan. So, what does it mean? Meaning, kung gagawa tayo ng value engineering, i-reanalyze natin kung nasa conceptual period pa lang tayo, mas malaki yung possible savings natin. Right? Compare sa dito na tayo mag-value engineering na nag-construct na. In fact, pagdating na sa almost halfway ng construction, wala na tayong magawang value engineering kasi nga, yun na nga, na-forma na yung, na-forma na yung, let's say, structural. Natapos na yung structural. So, wala na tayong ma-edit dyan, ma-improve. Okay? Yun na yun. Mahirap na Although, some extent, meron sa mga architectural, pwede ka makaano, pero bihira sa mga, yeah, architectural, you can do some, but sa mga plumbing, sa electrical, minsan, wala na nag-value engineering. Bihira masyadong mga nagba-value engineering for that kung nasa construction na. Okay? So, dito dapat sa conceptual pa lang, dapat makonsider na yung value engineering kasi malalaki yung saving. So you know what? As a designer, ang gina-offer namin na service as for us structural engineer. I told you I'm practicing structural engineering. So ang gina-offer ko sa client ko is that um, your building will not just be safe, but it will also be economical. Okay? So kaya may mga as much as possible gina-optimize ko yung design para hindi naman masyadong mahal. So if you notice may mga design ako diyan sa MSU. ah Someone naka-notice na bakit maliliit yung poste, yung gano'n, mga beam, mga ano masyado. Compare sa other na mga design, ang lalaki ng mga poste, ang lalaki ng ano. I mean, too much. That's too much over-design. I can say na over-design siya. But I don't know. It's not. I'm not criticizing other ha. But yun ang gina-offer ko sa in my clients na my design will be not only um, structurally strong but also it will be economical. I mean, ma-utilize natin kung ano lang yung dapat. So, yun. Depende na yun sa skill ko on how I manipulate on my structural analysis. Okay, to come up with a optimized design. But I always start that one kung ang project is bago pa talaga. So, I started during the conceptual. Doon pa lang sa conceptual, i-offer mo na yung uh, kumbaga, I'd say yun yung added value, 'di ba? So, when you offer a service, kailangan meron kang added value na ma-offer. Kahit hindi na yun mabayaran, ang added value, basta somehow, meron kang edge toward your customer. Kaya sa inyo, kung mga architect, so meron din kayong mga specialties na pwede nyong i-add sa sa client ninyo such a way na maengganyo sila na okay, I'll go with your design. Ganon. So, meron kayong skills or added value na maibigay sa project. So when you do value engineering at the early stage, then mas malaki yung savings. Okay? Kasi kung nagka-conceptualize ka pa lang, let's say it turns out na mas makasave ka sa concrete kaysa sa steel. Just example. Turns out na makasave ka sa concrete kaysa sa use steel. So, sa concept pa lang, at least maunahan mo na yung na for yung owner na okay, although ang trend ngayon, sir, ang trend ngayon is still na. But I found out based on my experience na on this location, on these localities, and then on this vicinity, mas makatipid tayo kung concrete ang gamitin natin. Ganun. So you can justify at an early stage. Kasi kung nasa designing ka na, of course, sa design, pag nag-detailed design ka na, detailed engineering ka na, baka pwede mo pa ring i-edit yun, pero nakagasto ka na yung time. So, it costs something na. So, maliit na lang yung possible na savings. And especially, kung nag-construction na, di ba? So, pangit naman na nakaano na yung columns mo, nakatayo ng columns, tapos you decide na i-change sa steel, or kung steel na, and then i-change mo sa concrete, that would be medyo mahirap rin siya. So, hindi na siya ideal na mag-ano ka pa ng value engineering or mag-change mind, change direction ka pa, change materials during construction na. Okay? So, this figure explains ano yung possible effect ng value engineering in the phases of uh, constructions. Okay, so let's move on to the phases of value engineering. Ito yung mga steps and phases of value engineering when we are doing the value engineering. So we have the orientation. We'll start with orientation. Then comes the information, the speculation, and followed by the analysis, program planning, program execution, and status summary and conclusion. Isa-isahin natin. So, ang orientation, this is what is to be accomplished. Um, you know, we have to talk with our clients. What is to be accomplished? Anong gusto niya? Kung hospital ba yan? 'Di ba? Does it look like a hospital? Okay. So kung mga ano ba yan, mga flood control, does it look like a flood control project? Ganun. So we need to clarify what is to be accomplished. What does the client need or want? What are the desirable characteristics? Anong gusto mo makita? Okay? Kasi minsan ang mga clients, ang daming gusto, di ba? Engineer, gusto ko ng ganito, gusto ko na ganito, tapos minsan kulang sa budget, ang daming gusto, right? But you need to clarify that one. Ask what they need. A sort of orientation of the project. And then, so before you can conceptualize. So pagkatapos ng orientation, then comes the information. So in the information, we try to secure all costs, um, quantities, drawings, speculations, manufacturing methods, samples, and prototypes. Okay? So, dito na, medyo you're going into detail. Okay? So, try mo na yung cost, estimate mo yung cost, yung mga possible quantities. Hindi talaga yung masyadong detailed, but somehow you have an estimation. Okay, let's say how much kaya magpagawa ng bahay kung steel, ganito. Kung i-concrete siya, ganito yung possible cost niya. Let's say per cubic meter or per floor area, di ba ganun naman yung mga estimations. So you try to somehow calculate that one. Yung in general palang perspective, yung mga drawings, possible sketches and drawings and mga specifications and even yung possible methods. Okay? So, remember, this is value engineering hindi yung sa designing. Okay? So, when we are doing the value engineering. So, you try the prototypes, kung ito kaya ang gamitin ko, kung magawa ng prototypes. Okay? Pero yung iba, hindi naman magagawa ng prototypes. Then here, we understand the manufacturing process. Ano yung process? Kung steel, ano yung gamitin ko na steel? Is it local? Okay, kung pre-engineered, I need to order it in Vietnam, yeah, mostly sa Vietnam. Then, ano yung magiging process? Ganun. Okay, ano yung mga cost involved when during the delivery of the freights? Yan. So, in here, in information, determine the amount of the effort that should be reasonably be expended on this study. So, ano yung mga possible effort na mahirap? I mean, lahat naman ng project medyo may mahirap yan. Kasi kung madali lang yan, the client will not hire you, right? So, that's the principle. Kung mahirap, that's okay. Kasi nga, kaya nga kayo nilapitan kasi mahirap yung project. So, wag kayong mag-alikramo na mahirap yan. Pag ano yung gusto ng client, wag mo sabihin na, unless lang impossible. Okay? So, wag niyo sabihin, mahirap yan may client. No, no, no. They will pay you for whatever hardship na ma-meet ninyo. Okay. Of course, on the price should be right. Kung gaano kahirap yung ano. But do not say no kung mahirap. Unless lang kung na-force kayo to corruption, something like that. So, yeah, it's your prerogative to say no, right? So, but in here, in information, we try to gather the informations. But most of the engineers na naga-value engineering, yun yung mga experienced engineer. Okay? Bihira lang ito sa mga baguhan. So when you are an experienced engineer, um, marami ka nang alam, di ba? Ano yung cost, ano yung weight ng bakal, ano yung weight ng reinforcement, how much cubic of ano na magasto, ganito. So by that you can have a rough estimation of your project na pwede mong i-open up doon sa owner. Okay? Then after information, then you have the speculation. So parang parang brainstorming. Okay? So you have to talk with other uh, people in the office. Okay, wag lang na ikaw lang. Kahit ikaw pang head engineer, head architect, wag lang na ikaw. You have to talk to other people, especially in the office na hindi naman maano yung information. But somehow, parang brainstorming ninyo na what if ganito, ganyan. So, ganito gamitin natin, ganito yung plano natin, ganito yung design. And then somehow they can comment. Okay? Be ready for comments for possible improvements. Okay? Kasi ano naman 'yan. Wala nang ego diyan kasi um for your company naman 'yan or let's say for your for your firm, 'di ba? So just open up, be open for not criticism but for, comments and possible improvements. Okay? Kung mayroon mang criticism, it must be constructive criticism. Then after the after the speculation, then we come to the analysis. So ito na yung medyo specific na siya. So estimate the money value of each idea, rank in order. So ganun. Yun parang ano tayo, parang SWOT analysis. We determine the strength, ano yung weakness, kung ito yung gamitin natin, ano yung possible opportunity, ano yung threats. Okay? For you who have studied management, I think you have encountered the SWOT analysis. Then in here, we consider the availability ng materials. Okay? Let's say kung mag-pre-stress concrete tayo, meron ba tayong nagabenta ng pre-stress concrete? Okay, meron ba tayong mga pre-stress tendons? Ganun. Yung pricing, how about the pricing? So, for a specific method na gagamitin natin, ano yung possible pricing? Then, ano yung long-term cost kung mag-rent tayo, di ba? Or magbibili ba tayo ng equipments? Yun, um, mga detailed na masyado. And required maintenance, kung magbili tayo ng mga, let's say, heavy equipments like bulldozer, cranes, ganun. So you have to consider that one. You have to do some economic studies and even mga technical analysis like sa structural analysis. Kung ito ang gamitin natin, ano ba yung effect niya during earthquake, kung mabilis ang earthquake, kung mahina yung earthquake, ganun na mga perspective. Okay? Then, after that, pag ma-come up na natin yung gusto natin, kumbaga parang na-establish natin, then we will do a program planning. Okay? So, establish natin, let's say, we come up with a steel. So, we establish the manufacturing program, ano yung mga operations, yung delivery, okay, yung possible na redesigning, yung production ng mga personnel, saan tayo mag-hire, ganon. So, this one promotes ethos of creativity in involves parties. So, sa program planning, dito nalalabas yung creativity skill natin. Okay, how creative we are like yung parang orchestra na conductor. Okay? So, ang construction is very, we call this na messy or, I mean, mahirap siya i-manipulate kasi nga ang daming angle na kailangan, So, it takes um, managerial skill as an engineer or as an architect na mag-orchestrate ng mag-manage ng programs, ng activities, people, right? Equipments, how do you manage that one? So parang sa construction management din siya na ano, skill pa rin yun siya. So in here, you start programming na kung okay na yun sila, okay na yun, then let's start programming. Ano yung mga possible steps natin. Then, after na ma-program natin, then we start with the program execution. So, let's pursue the program and then let's try to evaluate and appraise further suggestions. Maybe may mga pilot test, 'di ba? Yung mga preliminary na gagawin natin, anong subukan natin if it works. Ganun. So, for example, ah, hindi tayo makapag-deliver ng concrete and then mano-mano lang. So, let's see kung ma-achieve natin. Let's say, ang strength na gusto natin is 4,000 PSI. And then, hindi tayo makapa-deliver. Buti lang yung delivery kasi maka-specify lang tayo sa manufacturer na sabi natin, we will buy 4,000 PSI na concrete and then just deliver it to us. Pero kung nasa bukid ka na malayo yung concrete ano, so mano-mano yung on-site yung paggawa ng concrete, pag-mix, pagbuhos. So, wag mo na gawain mo na lahat. So, mag-test muna tayo. So, maggawa muna tayo ng pilot mixing. Okay? Let's say mag-mix tayo ng mga ilang bags ng concrete o mga trials, parang ganun. But somehow we will start the execution and then we'll just give comments kung ano yung kailangan i-improve, diba ganun. So in here, we try to appraise further suggestions from the suppliers and other things. Then after that, then we have the status summary and conclusion. So if in a position to take the to take executive decision, then act on this new idea. Pagkatapos yung pag-mix, kung sabi natin, oh, naabot siya ng 3,000. Okay, let's proceed. Go on with this idea. Okay? So if it's not, then make recommendations to those who are to make the decisions. Yun na nga, yung sa value engineering, kaya mas maganda sa value engineering, wag muna kayong mag-ask ng payment. Kung value engineers kayo, wag muna kayong mag-ask ng payments. So, para walang pressure ba? Walang pressure sa atin. Kasi kung if we find out na hindi na kailangan tipirin or wala na pwedeng ma-save, mabawas sa original na amount, then at least you just say na, ito hindi pwede. Hindi pwede itong gamitin, itong steel hindi pwede. Kasi ganun. So you just make recommendation na ano, kung hindi naman talaga. Pero kung mayroon, then execute it. Try, i-push mo sa owner na, sir, we can save if we follow my design. Okay? So we can save a lot from this one. Then you can ask for your payment, certain percentage of the savings. Okay? Then that's value engineering. Those are the phases of value engineering. All right, so please continue reading um, yung mga presentations and books that I've shared to you in the group chat. And then later, I will give some assignments and practical, let's say, reports, assignments for the value engineering. Right? Thank you.